I'm not going to worry about your level of concern.
Yoy and double yoy.
We talking about
Twitter. Triple yoy.
Think of how stupid the average person is, and then realize half of them are stupider than that.
Quadruple yoy.
When are we going to stop doing this to Mike Tomlin?
Coach Tomlin is, in my opinion, the best coach in the National Football League, maybe all of sports.
We can't speculate and recollate.
We're not urinating on the fire, man.
We mock ourselves.
Welcome to a draft month edition of What Shin's Talking About. The conversation about the Steelers' social media conversation, exposing all your hot and toxic takes. Even in the early spring months of April, there is no hibernation for toxic takes. My name is Kyle Chrise. Coming at you live to tape from sunny Los Angeles, California, a.k.a. the San Fernando Valley, Happy Valley West. And let me just, before I get started, I think we need to remind everyone a little bit about what the rules are. A quick reminder, Steelers fans, the fourth least positive fan base in the NFL, according to a 2021 not DraftKings, bookies.com study. Fact 1. Fact 2, you are the person that you tweet as. A lot of people were like, oh, I'm just on Twitter, man. If you can't handle it, yeah, this is how we act on here. No, the person you are on social media is the person you are. You can't separate that. Oh, no, I'm a troll online. I'm a jerk online. In real life, I'm great. Are you? The internet is, in some ways, real life. In some ways, not. Speaking of things not real, maybe this is a sign of getting old. I am just not only am I not into April Fool's Day, I'm opposed to it. I'm against it. I think it's dumb. It's not clever. You have to be really clever for it to be April Fool's. And how about some examples that are not clever? Straight from Steeler Nation. Let's get to these tweets. At Spicoli_75, Spicoli. Breaking from Adam Schefter, Ben Roethlisberger has signed a 1-year deal to return to the black and gold for 2025. And maybe that's clever, maybe that's clever for April Fools. But it's certainly not original. At the _era_CFB, the era with Brian Gregory. Breaking, Ben Roethlisberger returning to the Steelers on a 1-year deal worth $4 million. It's expected that the Steelers will draft a QB as well. Yeah, I guess great minds think alike, especially on Twitter. What would have been a clever April Fool's joke? Maybe trading Pickens? That would have probably got to people. Maybe trading Hayward. That one might have got some people. Signing Ben. Hey, you know what? If it's between Mason and Aaron Rodgers, can we throw Ben in the mix? I guess we can't. Well, take Aaron Rodgers over Ben. But maybe Ben over Mason. I don't know. Please, Andrew Siciliano was telling me in 2021 that Ben had a noodle arm. No, it was 2020. That was the pandemic year. Or no, it was early 2021. I guess it was January 2021, right before the playoff loss to the Browns. Oh, Ben had a noodle arm then. Well, noodle arm got us to the playoffs. April Fools, can we cancel it? I'm over it. If we're getting rid of daylight savings, can we get rid of April Fools? All right, let's talk about what's really going on here. And it is the question that we have every week. Cue the music. QB22 plus few. Where are you? We've got some work to do now. QB22 plus few. Who are you? We need some help from you now. You know we've got a mystery to solve. Which QB do we want, gold and black? But don't get sacked. If QBs do what they should do, then they can earn themselves a yellow jacket. QB22 plus few. Who knew? Who knew that yours truly would write a jingle in 2022 that would still be used a few years later? I'm glad I've been able to recycle the jingles. It took me a lot of time back then, so I'm getting the use out of it. That question is, who will be the QB? Well, we all know it was the game of catch heard round the world. Thank you, at Blitzberg. James Jones believes Rodgers throwing with Metcalf is a big deal. Somebody has to call somebody in this situation. Either DK reached out like, what up, bro? What do you want to do? Or Aaron reached out and said, hey, man, let's throw. And this right here, this ain't little. This is big. This tells me Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Why am I throwing to DK Metcalf? I believe this is a big deal. Woo! The game of catch heard round the rivers. Big deal. Aaron, my regret is I wish I had heard about it and was somehow got down to UCLA to see it. I would have. I'm always missing out on these opportunities to run into Steelers here. And I remember Antonio Brown was at Roscoe's Chicken, like the day before the Pro Bowl one year, and I was like, shoot, I could have been down there. Or when the rookie symposium was here with Kenny and Calvin Austin, but I did run into Chase Claypool at my Ralph's. Legit, but I didn't ask for a picture, but I did get a fist bump. He goes, "Oh, my name's Brian." I was like, and we had a big laugh because obviously it was Chase. But luckily, I was repping my Steelers Super Bowl 40 champions tee, so he knew that it was safe. Oh, what were we talking about? That's right, the game of catch. Big deal. I mean, I guess it's confirmation. It's the best confirmation we're ever going to get about this. We always have the big games of catches, but usually it's someone like, remember it was Mitch Trubisky inviting everyone down to play catch in Florida or something, or it was Ben taking everyone out on his boat. So this is just Aaron and DK. Is that a glimpse of what's to come? It's just going to be Big Ballers Club in one side of the locker room, and then everyone else on the other. I mean, I shouldn't project that yet, but why not invite the other guys? Plus, both these guys live in, or at least one has a house in Malibu, one has a house in LA. So I'll chalk it up to that. But let's not hope that this is a big money baller situation with Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf in the corner, and then everyone else with the Steelers way. But if anyone would know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, it would have to be the owner, right? Right? Oh, come on. Oh, gosh, sound effects fail me. Okay, well, that's the tweet sound. The tweet is from at Jerry Dulac. Jerry Dulac. Breaking. Art Rooney II said he has a good feeling about Aaron Rodgers, and the signs are pointing in that direction of him signing with the Steelers. Man, it seems like even Rooney is kind of checked out of this situation. Like, he has a good feeling. I think, or maybe it's proof that really, he is putting the day-to-day operations in the hands of Tomlin and Khan. He's like, I'm not really even a part of these QB discussions. It'll happen when it happens. I'm busy getting games over in Ireland. I'm busy cultivating a fan base in Mexico. I'm busy scratching my ear. He's letting Tomlin and Khan do the football operations. So maybe he's out of the loop as far as Rodgers goes. It kind of sounds like it. He's like, yeah, things are pointing that direction sooner than later. We're not going to wait forever. Okay, dude, are you even, get on the phone. What are they saying about my coach? What are they saying? Oh, the tweet sound. I wish you would. Okay, thank you. At the Pony Express, Andrew Filipponi. Tomlin, we had a really good day with Aaron Rodgers. Such a good day that 9 days later, you still have no clue what he's doing. This is a joke. This is the hot take of the moment, that because the fan base isn't clued into what's going on with Rodgers and the Steelers, that somehow this is dereliction of duty, etc., etc. I will say this. It does seem more and more to be performative. If they do wait until this Pat McAfee show, if, they are doing the photo op, because they post for pictures, Aaron and DK, so, if that was kind of a planned thing, like a photo event, if Aaron Rodgers does do the McAfee show, if it just seems performative. And I know that Tomlin has never been more than anything against the performative. Although, he has been doing the podcasts, and maybe he does see a role for this now. Maybe he does see a place for this. But I always feel like anything that veers on performative distraction from being singularly focused on the next game, and it's like, okay, Kyle, it's April, right? Okay, maybe there's a change of heart. But, my spidey sense, that's the only thing that has my spidey sense tingling. Otherwise, obviously something's going on. They're passing ball. Everyone's winking and nodding. Yeah, we got a deal in place. Yeah, something's going to happen. Except Rooney, who's like, I don't know what's going to happen, Filipponi sounds more in the loop than Rooney. Well, what about this, Tomlin? What about all this quarterback turnover? What, you can't find the quarterback. What do you have to say about that? At Mark Cabali. Mike Tomlin is not concerned that the QB room is turned over completely for the second straight year. Said basically, talk to me next year if it happens again, then be worried. First off, I don't think Tomlin, you don't have to defend yourself at all. The answer could have been, hey, we've turned over turn over the QB room. Heck, we've turned over every stone to make this happen. We went from Ben Roethlisberger and Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges to Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph, and then when none of that seemed to work, and that was heavy investments in Trubisky and Kenny Pickett. Then when that didn't work, it was Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, not a heavy investment, but only because it may be the best free agent financial deal ever. That two-pack, two quarterbacks who could start anywhere in the league. So I would, if I was Tomlin, I would flip it on them. Complete turnover. We've turned every stone over. But this is where I'm kind of like, are you sure about this, Tomlin? Talk to me next year if it happens again. Well, I mean, Aaron Rodgers isn't a long-term solution. Mason Rudolph, so you're going to keep Mace around? I'd be more worried if it was Rodgers and Mace next year. especially unless we win that Lombardi. So talk to me next year if the room doesn't turn over next year. That's maybe what I would have if I was Tomlin. Talk to me next year if the room doesn't turn over. Better turn over some, unless Aaron Rodgers is Tom Brady without a vaccination record. Okay, moving on. At B. Pryor, Brooke Pryor. Kind of a Mona Lisa expression from Tomlin in this year's coach's pick. Is he smiling, smirking, straight-faced, hiding a secret from the rest of the world? This I thought was hilarious. The little group picture of all the coaches, and it does look like Tomlin. I can't tell. At first I was like, man, he doesn't even want to be there. And then I'm like, oh no, maybe he is smiling. But it does kind of look like the cast from The White Lotus. And then I just got to thinking, what would an NFL White Lotus sound like? Maybe something like this. Welcome to the Iron Paradise. A group of NFL coaches arrive at a luxurious island resort, the Gridiron Lotus, for what is supposed to be a week of relaxation. Instead, they quickly descend into a whirlpool of competitive absurdity, philosophical musings, and barely concealed animosities. Mike Tomlin refuses to remove his aviator sunglasses, even while night swimming. He delivers an impassioned speech about never seeking comfort while standing in a 5-star spa, unironically. Meanwhile, Andy Reid is designing an elaborate all-you-can-eat strategy, meticulously mapping out the island's best food options, like it's the Super Bowl. Sean McVay is unable to relax. He starts drawing up trick plays in the sand, inadvertently turning the beach into a chalkboard of X's and O's. Dan Campbell challenges the resort's fitness instructor to a push-up contest, winning, but immediately demanding another rep. It's Sundays on HBO. The Gridiron Lotus. All right. They can kill the music. Well, they can't all be hits. All right, let's move on. We're still in the thick of it. What is it? It's con season. The tweet at Steel Curtain. Former Steelers draft pick already heading toward major bust status. I was like, what? Talk about clickbait. Some of these sites, pardon me as I cough into the mic, and I write with Behind the Steel Curtain, and hey, they're not immune to a clickbait stuff now and then. By the way, go to BehindTheSteelCurtain.com to vote on the Steelers March Madness Final Four. We're down to the finals. But anyway, I digress. Yellow journalism, black and yellow journalism, has never been so yellow as Steel Curtain. Former Steelers draft pick already heading toward major bust status. Major bust status? Talking about Roman Wilson. Did we call Calvin Austin a bust after his first year? Calvin Austin was injured, basically had a red shirt year. Did we call Chase Claypool a stud after his first year? So let's hold off judgment, especially after Wilson was injured. Major bust status. And you know what? Hey, as a third-round pick, it's okay if it happens. For every Roman Wilson, there's a Sammy Coates. It happens. Not every wide receiver pick turns into Deontay Johnson at third round. All right, let's move on. It's time for mock draft talk. Oh, do I have the song ready? I don't. Well, you guys are blessed without the mock draft song. Let's just get to the takes. At PGH Steelers Now. Ryan Clark thinks Steelers should trade up for highly touted quarterback. Are we really going to draft a first-round quarterback? You know, I guess we should I should take it seriously. It seems to be what the meetings are. Seems to be what the talk is. But first round, I thought some of these guys were third round or something. Ryan Clark wants to get Deion Sanders' kid, Shedeur Sanders. Trade up. People are saying you got to trade up to 10 for that, maybe, or something. I mean, we traded up to 10 for Devin Bush. It's like if you're going to trade up, it's got to be a guarantee. Can you really say that Sanders is going to be a guarantee? It's got a lot of the, pedigree. It's got a lot of the check mark. It checks a lot of the boxes. Is he better than Kenny Pickett? It's like, we invested so much into Kenny Pickett, and he was the first quarterback taken off the board. I just don't know if I'm ready to trade up to do that. Unless, unless Tomlin comes out there and says, this is why he's our guy. This is our guy. But why are we even talking QBs? If you ask at the Pony Express, Andrew Filipponi, definitive Dulac today in the PG, in the Post-Gazette, says you can rule out the Steelers taking a QB in the first round. So much for Jackson Dart. I'm hopeful that this is a true rumor. I want this to be true. I don't want to take a quarterback first round. It's defensive line, right? Isn't that the way?
That's just dirty rumors.
It better not be a rumor. Defensive line, right? Man, it's just all we needed was one of those guys to hit. DeMarcus Leal. They're saying Benton is ready to escalate or elevate. We haven't seen it yet. Now we got to draft first round. Better hope it's a Cam Hayward, not a Ziggy Hood. Although wasn't Ziggy starting when Cam signed on? Let's go to the tweet from at Burner Friggin, Donnie Friggin Burner. If you could guarantee that Kenneth Grant would follow the exact career path as Jordan Davis, would you draft him 21 overall? Kenneth Grant is the defensive tackle from Michigan. It seems to be where everybody is. He's one of the most popular mock draft destinations for Pittsburgh, Kenneth Grant. Same career path as Jordan Davis? Well, what? He's more of like a Casey Hampton type, isn't Jordan Davis, right? But he was all rookie team, and Eagles run defense can't argue with that. So maybe I would take that. Let's get to the mock math. We've added how many mock drafts did we add this week? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It was a light week for the mock drafts. 14. I wasn't adding. Some of these ones are like, in this mock draft, everyone needs a first-round trade. It's like, come on, that's not even serious. Mock drafts aren't serious in the first place, but that scenario is even less so. So we've got 14 new mock drafts coming in at first place. Tied for 12. Defensive tackle Kenny Grant from Michigan. And Mississippi Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart, both with 12. Grant gained 4 mocks this week. Dart gained 5. The next biggest gainer was Derek Harmon, the defensive tackle from Oregon. He gained 2 to move into third place with 5. New to the list this week. Florida State quarterback Azareth Thomas and Alabama quarterback Jalen Monroe. Welcome to the mock draft hype. Remember, if we can get a 50% threshold, mock drafts are bogus. Can't do anything with it. But if you study the pattern at a macro enough level, we've been able to determine, what Jin's talking about has been able to determine, a 50% threshold should tell you what position, not the player, the position. So right now it's going to be defensive tackle or quarterback. I know that's not a very, doesn't really limit it to much, but that's as far as the signs we can get. We can pretty much say that the most popular pick is not who the Steelers choose. Go back to Malik Willis. go back to some others. Oh, might need to double check that on Broderick Jones. I might need to double check that math. Maybe he might have been the most popular pick that year. Oh, well. Well, let's keep moving on. I think that the band is trying to get... Yeah! Band is on the field. The tweet from... Oh, come on. It's just, why? Okay, well, you get the picture. At Real John Walker the Fourth. The first Rush jersey to become available from this past season ended at auction last night. Went for slightly under $12,000. So I guess some people find value in the Rush season. Although I think it's going to go down in infamy as the worst collapse for a Steelers playoff team in franchise history. But for $12,000, you can own a piece of that history. By the way, one last thing. Best thing on the internet, the Imgur, and these pictures are great. So if you're on YouTube, look at some of these pics that I'm putting up on the screen. They're pretty great. Otherwise, that's it for the show. I think that's what we've been talking about. Isn't that right, Coach?
That's what we've been talking about.
Great, thanks. We need your iTunes reviews. That helps the algorithm the most. So leave a review on iTunes. Like and all that subscribe nonsense on YouTube. Or just hit me up on email, kylechrise@gmail.com. Until next week, when... I didn't get... Oh, yeah, play some music. Oh, no, did I not record...